Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Half and Half on this very, very sunny, pretty day in Blue Mounds. I don't know what the weather is like for you, but we have a great day out here. So hopefully you have a good day as well. Yeah, this morning Scott did his first 20-20-20 workshop where he did cardio and Pilates and meditation at the end. So we got an early start, and this is our first back-to-back session of YouTube classes. So yeah, we've been going for a little while, and that was a really fun class. And now we're excited to do the half and half class here. So a lot of times when we do class, we come in with a theme, and maybe we talk about something anatomical or some concept. And I was thinking today it might just be good to move and integrate, do some Pilates, do some yoga. So if you've taken a lot of these classes, you have a lot of different things you might, images you might have worked with or things that you know work for your body. I might cue some of those things, or you just might have those cues going through your mind on your own as you go. So we just get a chance to practice a little. So let's go right into it, and we'll start on your back. Knees bent and feet flat. And take a moment here and just settle into your spine, settle into the ground. It's always nice to start with how your breathing feels. And then for me, lying on my back, it just gives me more awareness of my body because my back is in the floor. I get a sensation through my back that I don't get when I'm sitting or standing. I also have a more sense of weight, just like the overall weight of my body. And then that concept right there usually lets me relax any sort of extra tension from my postural muscles, from my muscles that hold me up when I'm sitting and standing. So we'll take a minute and just breathe and settle. And notice how your breath moves without trying to make it be any particular way. Just observing it. Maybe it's in your chest, maybe it's in your belly, maybe somewhere else. And just like my body will sort of settle into the ground, I often find if I notice my breath and don't try to do anything to it, but just am aware of it for a minute, it'll shift too. It'll sort of settle into a easeful place. And then I get a sense of that rhythm of inhale and exhale. And I'll often start to even out my inhale and exhale. And that breath rhythm is kind of important in Pilates because I often don't ask you to move at a specific pace. We don't have music going that you have to follow. Um, I'll often tell you to find your rhythm, and your rhythm is often tied to your breath. On your exhale, you make a movement. On your inhale, you make a movement. So take a moment with your breath rhythm, whatever it is. Settle into it. And then we'll start to add in some knee folds. So the inhale will float your right leg up so your knee ends up over your hip. The exhale will lower your foot back to the floor. And the next inhale will float your left leg up. And the exhale will take it down. So you might be faster or slower than I am. You're going to let your breath determine your pace. We'll keep going like that a few times, alternating right and left. Inhale the leg up. Exhale the leg down. One more each side, or finishing up the set you're on. And once you have both feet to the floor, we're going to take both arms up to the ceiling. Turn your hands so your palms face each other. Take a moment, find your breath again. Feel the weight of your rib cage. So the arms, the fingers are floating up, the rib cage is sinking down. And the next time I exhale, I'm going to float my arms overhead towards the floor without popping the ribs up. The lower part of the rib cage sometimes pops up off the mat. I'm only going to take my arms as far as I don't pop my rib cage up. And the next time I exhale, I'm going to bring my arms up to the ceiling. So we'll find that rhythm a little bit as you go. So you're only moving on the exhale. You float back on your exhale. You pause there for your inhale. And then you float up on your exhale. And then you pause for your inhale here. So see if you can take that movement a few times. So we've got these two images. One, move on the exhale, pause on the inhale. Two, keep your lower ribs dropping down towards the mat. Take it one more time. And then next time your arms are to the ceiling, flip your palms again so they're facing your thighs. We're going to go into the 100. So I often teach 100 exercise in this class, especially with the legs in tabletop. But I'm going to give you the option to start reaching your legs straight out on an angle, and I'm going to show it that way today. But you can keep doing tabletop position with your legs if you like. And I'll walk through both. So we'll take a breath in. And as you exhale this time, bring your head off the mat. Lower your arms down by your side, just hovering off the mat. And then inhale, one leg comes up. Exhale, second leg comes up. So here's tabletop, might be where you stay. If you'd like to try a little more challenge, turn your legs out slightly. Start to reach them a little straighter, a little more out on an angle. And then we start little pumps with the arms. Inhaling for 5 pumps. Exhaling for 5 pumps. So now we could really use the breath. All 5 pumps are an inhale. All 5 pumps are an exhale. And this is really complicated. Sometimes you have to pump a little more slowly to match your breath. Sometimes you have to pump faster to match your breath. Inhaling 5 pumps. Exhaling 5 pumps. Each time you exhale, belly comes on a little more. 2 more sets of these. Bend your knees in, rest your head. And then find a way up to sitting. So I don't always break down these exercises. But one thing that people don't always realize is that the 100 is actually based on that breath pattern I was just talking about and the pumps I was just talking about. So 5 pumps are an inhale, 5 pumps are an exhale, which equals 10. And then you do 10 total breaths, which equals 100, which is why it's called the 100. So sometimes people are pumping really fast and not matching the breath in the arms, which is, not the most horrible thing in the world. But really the exercise is based on getting that full inhale for 5 pumps, full exhale for 5 pumps, do it 10 times. There's your 100. So that's actually where the name comes from. So it's useful. Let's look at a little bit of the roll-up exercise. So we'll take your feet out. And officially, legs are together, feet are together for this exercise. But if your back is tight and if you struggle with this exercise, sometimes it's helpful to take them hip distance apart. So you can choose. Either way, flex your feet, knees bent. If your legs are together, really pay attention to that. Hold them together. Hold the feet and the knees together the whole time. If they're a little apart, make sure the knees stay straight up and down. That's the other way you can feel that. It's not letting them fall out to the side. So slide your pelvis a little forward so your spine is round. Hands hold the backs of your legs. And we're going to start walking your hands down. We'll start with an inhale. Exhale at about your halfway point and hold it there. Take another inhale. Exhale. Walk your hands back up your legs. We're going to do 3 more like that. Inhale, you start walking down and go to kind of a challenging spot where you have to work a little to hold it. Stay there and exhale. Stay there and inhale. And then exhale, walking back up. Really round spine as you go. Full exhale, full inhale. Exhale to help you up. And one more like this. Hold in place for the exhale and inhale. So we're going to do 4 more. Option to do what we just did, or to take it into the full roll up, a little more challenging. And we'll end up timing it basically the same. So I'll show the fuller roll up. So you're going to inhale, walking your hands down. And instead of holding on the exhale, you're going to lower your head down on the exhale. And then bringing your head up on the inhale. And then exhale. Working your way the rest of the way up. So same amount of, still 2 breaths, right? You're either holding for that exhale, inhale, and coming up, or you're going all the way down on the exhale and starting to come up on the inhale. So we'll do 3 more of those. Inhale starts the movement. Exhale, either holding or lowering. Inhale, either holding or coming up. And then exhale. And 2 more of those. Full breath in. Full exhale. And full inhale. Exhaling up. And last time, see if you can leave your legs really in place. Knees are either together or just held straight up to the ceiling. And then we'll do a little bonus roll down for everybody, all the way back to your back until you're lying on the mat and your legs can relax down. So let's take your right knee in, holding the back of your thigh. Bend your knee, relax your leg. And then just like we did at the very beginning, feel your spine on the mat, just a moment, and feel the weight of your body dropping into the mat. Your body's going to stay really grounded, but your leg's going to reach up. Inhale, stretch your leg up. Exhale, bend your knee down. Following your breath here, inhale, extends your leg. Exhale, bends your leg. And the next time your leg's in the up position, stay with it. Leave it up there. And let's just move your foot a little, flexing and pointing. And leave your foot pointed. So take a moment, think about your other leg, your left leg. Let's flex your left leg and turn it so the toes point up to the ceiling. And the least amount of effort required to do that movement. Don't go crazy flexing your left foot. It's just a little flex, it's a little organized there. On an exhale, find your abdominal feeling. Find your tone in your abdominals. Hands come by your side. We'll start the single leg circles. Over to the left. Exhale, around and up to center. Inhale over to the left. Exhale, circle around. Full inhale, full exhale. Find your rhythm. Same circle, other direction. Inhale as you start to open. Exhale over to the left, back to center. Three more. And once you finish, right leg goes to the floor. And we start the whole thing over with the left. Hold the back of your thigh, relax your knee, feel your pelvis heavy, feel your chest heavy. The left leg goes up on the inhale and it bends on the exhale. Follow your breath a few times. Next time your leg's in the up position, we'll take the foot a few times, flexing it and pointing it. And then leaving your foot pointed, take a moment with the right leg. So we turn it parallel, flex it softly, toes to the ceiling. And then a moment using your exhale to create a little tone in your abdominals. Once you have that, hands come by your side. Your left leg reaches over to the right, and then down and around and back up to the ceiling. Inhale as you start the across movement. Exhale, circle all the way around. And that exhale helps you get into your abdominals. Your abdominals help you keep your pelvis really steady. Next time, start the reverse direction. Inhale down, exhale across and up. And a steady pelvis means your leg actually gets to move a little more freely in the hip. So if we hold the pelvis really steady, we're actually making a leg circle. Finishing up that one. Bend your knee. This time, hold on to your knee and use it to roll up to sitting. So rolling like a ball, I love rolling like a ball. It feels really great. It does not feel really great if you're on a very hard surface. So I think for most people, you're probably on carpet. That's great. Maybe you're on a thick mat. Great. If for some reason you're on a hard surface, maybe grab a blanket, something like that, so you are not rolling just on a hard surface there. So knees bent, a little bit round, so you're sitting back behind your sits bones. Bend your knees as much as they comfortably bend. And if in that position, it's easy to grab onto your ankles, grab onto your ankles. But if your knees are a little stiffer and you can't quite get your ankles, don't force them. Just grab your knees, or maybe grab halfway down your shins. Take a little balance moment. So use your exhale to find your belly. Take your right leg a little bit off the floor. It just hovers. Take your left leg a little bit off the floor. It just hovers. And then feel this shape, this ball shape. You're going to imagine rolling back and trying to let your pelvis just roll up over your shoulders. So think of the pelvis trying to find the ceiling. And then you come back to upright. So it's just a moment, like your pelvis just wants to peek up at the ceiling. And then you stay round as you come up. Now my pelvis comes really high off the mat. Yours might not. It's okay. Keeping my heels really close to my butt the whole time. 2 more. Inhale back. Exhale up. And then staying at the top. So let's try a little more challenging exercises, the single leg stretch and the double leg stretch. Both of these, you're holding your head off the mat without support. And sometimes that's hard on people's necks. So you can do it with your head down on the mat, or you could modify it with your hands to put your hands behind your head. Either one of those would be just fine. So I'm going to start with my right knee bent. My left hand is going to go on my knee. My right hand is going to go down on my ankle. And then I'm going to roll back until my ribs, my low ribs are down on the mat, but my shoulder blades are up. My upper back is off the mat. Or my head is down, right? Maybe I chose that. Or maybe I chose hands behind the head. I'm going to take the left leg off the floor and do some switches in this position. Inhale for 2 switches. Exhale for 2 switches. Inhale 2 times. Exhale 2 times. We'll keep going like that a few times. Now, if you can, keep your head up. Both knees come in. I'm going to reach my arms up to the ceiling, send my legs forward. Exhale, I come back where I started. Inhale, arms to the ceiling, legs out. Exhale, around and in. Now, if your head's up, it's really up. You're looking all the way into your belly. If it's not, right, it's down, it's okay, but you're really thinking about holding from your belly. Ribs are in, belly's in, and taking that movement. One more. And then resting on the mat. And come up to sitting. Let's do just a little bit on your side. I have one student who says, anything that threatens to give her a waist, she's for it. So doing stuff on your side threatens to give you a waist. Maybe you're for that too. So we'll lie on your right side, all the way down. Head to pelvis is in line with the back of my mat. And then my feet are kind of forward towards the front of my mat. Top hand is going to press right into the floor right in front of me. So here's the waist that we're threatening. When you're on your side, can you think of your waistline actually pulling up just a little bit off the mat here? You're not just collapsed into the floor. You could imagine that your muscles became a little bit of a belt, and you just kind of tighten that belt a little bit, just a little, not too much. And then that might actually help you feel all your abdominals a little more, which is great. We're going to take your top leg, lift it up like you were standing hip distance apart. Keep your belt on. Start to move your leg forward. And then exhale, take it back. And earlier in single leg circles, I said use your abdominals to hold your pelvis steady so that you just move your leg and not your pelvis. Same is true here. Use your abdominals, hold your pelvis still, and only your leg moves. Inhale as you go forward. Exhale as you go back. Two more of these. Now keep your leg a little lifted. Bring it so it's hovering over your bottom leg and a small circle around. Do 8 of these little circles. Again, only your leg moves. Your pelvis stays still. Maybe you put your hand there to help you feel that. Sometimes that helps. And then reverse it. And then legs together. Push yourself up to sitting. Find the other side. So I'm lining my body up with the back edge of my mat, all the way from my fingertips to my sits bones, one line. Feet come a little forward. Put on a belt, draw it in just a little bit towards the navel. Lift your top leg, and it goes forward. Inhale and back. Exhale. Inhaling forward. Exhaling back. Pelvis is still, and just the leg moves. And as you're keeping your little bit of tight belt feeling, is it making your shoulders tense up? Sometimes it makes my shoulders tense up. So can you feel that little bit of tightened belt without adding in extra shoulder tension? One more. Legs come together, little circles. Reverse it. And relax. So for most people, it's pretty hard to do side lying work. We don't practice it that much. So if you find those kind of difficult, that's okay, but you do get better at them. So they're really good to practice because we don't get those sorts of exercises in a lot of work that we do. So it looks like we're just about time for Scott to come in, to swoop in and teach some yoga here. So we'll make that transition now. See everybody next week.
Hello, everybody. We're going to pick up where Colette left off. So you were doing some spine articulation on your back. And it was a lot from the top down. And so now what we're going to take a look at is what we in yoga would call a bridge pose, and in Pilates we may call a shoulder bridge. And the idea here is to, again, articulate your spine, but our main focus is going to be the lower spine. So to begin, take your pelvis, tip it a little bit back until you can feel your lower back on the floor. Now, what happens for a lot of people is they intend to work their belly, which is so beneficial, but they end up tucking their tailbone. Remember, when animals tuck their tail when they're scared? So a toned pelvic floor is going to be really important, but a tense pelvic floor is basically on the spectrum of a fear response. So all that to say, lower back pressing down, pelvis posteriorly tilted, and creating that movement from your belly, letting your tailbone relax. So now to deepen the work in your belly, further press your lower back into the floor and lift the back of your pelvis off the floor. And now continuing that trajectory, lifting your lower back up segment by segment, L5, L4, L3, so on and so forth, coming up. So here in yoga, this is going to be more recognizable as the bridge. And now coming down, excuse me, lowering your spine down segment by segment by segment, just like you do in a roll up or roll down. So if you're anything like me, you maybe held your breath in doing that. I sometimes do that when I'm really concentrating. So now to add in the breathing, articulating your spine from pelvis upwards, beginning that process with the in-breath, continuing that process with the out-breath. Then the reverse, halfway down with the inhale, rest of the way down with the exhale. And let's do two more like that. Halfway up, inhale. Rest of the way up, exhale. Halfway down, inhale. Rest of the way down, exhale. So last one, quietly together. All right. Then from supine, coming up onto your feet. And then up on your feet, starting with your feet fairly far apart. And a little bit of external rotation, such that both your feet turn out. And now exhale, ankles bend, hips bend, knees bend. Inhale, coming up. As I mentioned in a few recent classes, that simply this movement right here is going to help work your pelvic floor muscles in a healthy way. No need to tuck your tail. No need to scoop or anything like that. Provided your ankles bend, your hips bend, and your knees bend, pelvic floor muscles yield, pelvic floor muscles tone. Let's do two more. So next time you're in that triple flex position, pausing here, and bring your hands into prayer position. So maybe you were here for 20. You might be thinking, oh, good God, we're going to do the heel lift and lower thing again. Not right now. So practicing moving from your lower body, letting your head and neck come along for the ride, shifting your weight to the left, back in toward the middle, shifting your weight to the right, coming back in toward the middle, especially if you tend to have tight, excuse me, neck and shoulders. There's a good chance that you initiate your movement from your neck and shoulders. So we're going to continue going side to side, practice using your legs and your pelvis to generate the movement. And let your head and neck be loose and receive the movement that originates farther down. Come on back toward the middle. Taking a moment to feel your feet, 10 toes, heels, balls of your feet. Take those 2 feet, press them into the earth, into the basement. Spontaneously, you'll lift up, and then stepping your feet together. Taking a moment to refine your posture. Remember, any amount that you want to lift up, invest that enthusiasm for rooting down. So I sometimes will look down just as a reminder to feel my feet, feel them sinking into the mat, into the floor, into the earth. Then, as you worked on a little bit earlier, keep your ribs knit as you lift up. And maintaining that length in your torso as we now look at creating breadth across your upper chest by lifting your shoulders a little bit up, a little bit back, and just the tiniest bit down. 3 deep breaths. Divert the inhale into your back. Use the exhale to connect into your belly. Maintaining that connection in your belly. Divert the inhale into your back. Use the exhale to reboot the belly connection. One more. So now we're going to work our way toward the sun salutation. With the forthcoming out breath, take your arms up, let your chin float up too. And then inhale forward. Letting your head hang, we'll pause here for a bit. Then naturally when your head hangs, your neck is long. Now with the next exhale, stretch the crown of your head forward, keeping that length in your neck. We'll pause here for a few breaths. This is Gorilla. In time with practice, most of the movement originates between your shoulder blades. Then with the next inhale, folding, letting your head again hang. Exhale all the way up. Inhale, arms down. Now the same thing a little bit faster. Exhale, arms to the side as they come up. Inhale, arms to the side as you fold forward. Exhale, gorilla. Inhale, folding. Exhale, arms to the side as you come up. Inhale, arms to the side as you come down. Now we're going to add another layer to that. Exhale, arms to the side up. Arms to the side is important to help strengthen your shoulders and improve your posture. Out to the side, inhale, fold it. Exhale, gorilla. Inhale, back to dog pose. Letting your head hang, another chance to let gravity lengthen and decompress your neck. Exhale, stepping back to gorilla. Remember how most of the movement occurs between your shoulder blades when you keep your neck long. Inhale, folding. Exhale, arms to the side as you rise up. Inhale, arms to the side, coming down. Now we're going to add another layer to that. Exhale up. Inhale, folding. Exhale, gorilla. Inhale, back. Exhale, straight arm plank. We'll pause here for just a moment. Heels, hips, shoulders, neck, and head all lined up. Now with the next inhale, pull your thigh bones back to dog pose. Exhale, gorilla. Inhale, folding. Exhale all the way up. Inhale, arms down. Adding another layer to that. Exhale up. Inhale, folding. Exhale, gorilla. Inhale, dog pose. Exhale, straight arm plank. With the inhale, knees come down to your belly. Stretch back through your toes, forward through the crown of your head. Exhale, pushing back up to hands and knees. Inhale, back to dog pose. Exhale, gorilla. Inhale, folding. Exhale all the way up. Inhale, arms down. Now to add in the last component for sun salutation. Arms to the side, exhale up. Inhale, arms to the side, folding. Exhale, gorilla. Inhale, dog pose. Exhale, straight arm plank. Inhale, coming down to your belly. Exhale, locust. That's where your legs and torso lift, arms stretch back. Inhale, back to your belly. Exhale, hands and knees. Inhale, dog. Exhale, gorilla. Inhale, folding. Exhale all the way up. Inhale, arms down. Big old wide stride to the front. So we have a complete sun salutation. We'll come back to sun salutations in a bit. In the meantime, turn your left foot in and your right foot out. And as you explored earlier with Colette, we're going to let movement follow breath. So getting a sense of your breath rhythm. A sense for about how long an exhale takes. Then on a forthcoming out breath, time, pace the bending of your right knee to last as long as that out breath does. Pause with your knee bent for the in breath. Pace the tip your hips with your out breath. Elbow to knee, hand on your hip. Deeper breathing. Now, if you'd like a little bit more challenge, you could lighten how much you're leaning into that right elbow, up to including not leaning on it at all. Steady breathing. Right foot, 5 toes, heel, ball of the foot. Inhale, press that right foot into the earth to come up. Second side, turn your right foot in, turn your left foot out. Pausing here, getting a sense of the rhythm of your breath. Pace the bending of your knee to last the duration of an out breath. Pause with your knee bent for the in breath. Pace the tipping of your hips with your out breath. Elbow to knee, hand on your hip. Now, a little bit earlier, Colette was working on waistline. So lightening how much you lean on that elbow helps to work with your waistline. And if you like a whole lot more challenge, you could not lean on that elbow at all. And that's going to be working with your side body. Left foot toes, heel, ball of the foot. Press that whole foot into the earth to rise up. Turning back to the front, still facing the front, stepping your feet together. We're going to do a sun salutation. So remember, we're taking the arms to the side to help tone the backs of your shoulders. So to begin, inhale into your back. Exhale, arms to the side as they rise up. Inhale, arms to the side as you fold forward. Exhale, gorilla. Inhale, dog. Exhale, straight arm plank. Inhale, down. Exhale, locust. Inhale, down. Exhale, pushing up. Inhale, dog. Exhale, gorilla. Inhale, folding. Exhale, arms to the side as you come up. Inhale, arms to the side as you come down. Good. So in a moment, we're going to step left foot back and stepping it back so that your foot ends up the way it was placed in dog pose. So stepping your left foot way back. And maybe you can see how my back foot points straight ahead, how that heel's lifted up in the air. At the same time, pelvis lifts, chest held high, head held high. To help stretch out the front of your left hip. Exhale, bending. Inhale, straightening. We're going to do two more like that. The next time, front knee in the bent position, pausing there. Front of your pelvis lifts up toward the ceiling. How do you know if you're doing that or not? If you feel that your chest spontaneously lifts and your head is spontaneously held high, you're lifting from your pelvis. Taking your arms forward. Divert the inhale into your lower back ribs. Keep the lower back ribs broad as you exhale. Reach your arms up. Let your gaze track with. Full deep inhale here. Exhale, hands down. Stepping your back foot forward. Good things come in pairs. Now it's going to be your right leg. Takes a big step back. So again, that back foot pointing straight ahead is important to try and open the front of the hip. Keeping the back foot pointing straight ahead. Exhale, bending. Inhale, straightening. Whole time pelvic bowl lifts. So remember some of those ideas of lightly engaging your belly. The next time your front knee in the bent position, pausing there. Reinvigorating the lift of your front pelvis. To lift your chest. To hold your head high. Take your arms then forward. Lower back ribs. Broaden the lower back ribs with the in-breath. Keep that breath as you exhale up. Let your gaze track. Exhale, hands down. Stepping your back foot forward. Sun salutation. Begins with the inhale to open your back. Arms to the side, exhale up. Arms to the side, inhale, folding. Exhale, gorilla. Inhale, dog. Exhale, straight arm plank. Inhale, lowering down. Exhale, locust. Inhale down. Exhale, hands and knees. Inhale, dog. Exhale, gorilla. Inhale, folding. Exhale all the way up. Inhale down. So second to last standing pose. Taking your left leg back. Remember how we placed it earlier with the heel lifted, back foot pointing straight ahead? And keeping the back foot placed, exhale, front knee bending. Inhale, straightening. 2 more. So especially if you're here for 20-20-20 class, it can be nice to open up the front of the hip, especially those of us who rode a bike. So next time, front knee in the bent position, pausing there. Now folding from your hips to bring your forearms onto your front knee. So maybe you can see that my back, legs, spine, neck, and head are pretty much lined up. Keep that line as you join your palms in prayer position. Keep that line as you inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Keep that line as you inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. 1 more. Full breath here. Stepping your back foot forward and coming back up to standing. Second side, right foot steps back, way back. Back heel lifted. Back foot straight ahead. Exhale, bending your front knee. Inhale, straightening your front knee. Keeping the lift of your pelvis to open now the front of your right hip. So good way to complement biking. So next time, front knee in the bent position, pausing there. Now from your hip socket, folding forward. Bring forearms onto your front knee. From your heel to your head, lined up. Keeping that alignment as you bring your hands to prayer position. 3 repetitions. Inhale, straightening. Exhale, bending. So maybe you can see that my chest faces the floor as I straighten my knee and as I bend my knee. 1 more. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Pausing here for a breath. And then stepping forward. Sun salutation. Arms to the side, exhale. Folding, inhale. Exhale, gorilla. Inhale, dog. Exhale, straight arm plank. Inhale, coming down. Exhale, locust. Inhale, back to prone mount. Exhale, up to hands and knees. Inhale, dog. Exhale, gorilla. Inhale, folding. Exhale all the way up. Inhale, arms down. And now, transitioning to your back. Could be on your back on the floor. Could be reclining on your sofa or your bed or a recliner. No harm in that. Resting your arms wherever comfortable. And similarly, if it's comfortable to keep your eyes open, feel free to do so. If it feels more comfortable to close your eyes, feel free to do so. Very similar to what we did in 2020, those of us who did the cardio work together. Let your breathing be. If it's fast, let it be fast. If it's shallow, let it be shallow. And so while sun salutations tend to be fatiguing, they rarely, almost never, are cardio, sorry to say. But even if sun salutations don't necessarily deliver the cardio benefits, they still are a wonderful way to work with mindfulness in your body, to help build strength, to help cultivate flexibility. So the aftermath of these sun salutations, let the floor support your body. And that support so steady, fully creating the opportunity, the freedom to release into that support. So I know most of us, if not all of us, we have a lot to manage. And very often there's a sense that we have to hold it together. That's what we do in our bodies. We have a lot of tension arising from holding it together. Explore what it feels like in your body, for even just the next few moments, to let the floor support you. And that's not to minimize the sense that you have to hold it together. It may be right after practice, you have to fly back into action. So we'll take the next few moments quietly to experiment and explore, letting that holding together fall away. And if even for a moment, surrendering to the support of the floor. And now, if you've closed your eyes, opening your eyes. And then, as you feel ready, coming up to sit. All right. So, if there are any questions, feel free to type them into the chat box. I'll try and get to them. There's a really long delay from when you type. So, if I don't answer your questions, it's that they didn't come in. So we're really glad you joined us this morning for our half and half class. And we offer this freely each Saturday. If you haven't had a chance to join our mailing list, please do so, pilatesonharrison.com. And on that mailing list, we describe all our various activities. And one of the programs we're really excited about is our Pay What You Can Pass. And we know that a lot of people are on furlough or maybe have lost their jobs, otherwise concerned about finances. We want to make sure that these mind-body practices remain available to you. And so we have our subscription plan available where you tell us how much you can afford in your monthly budget, whether it's the full price, $95 per month, or even $5 or $10 per month. We want to make these programs available to you. So before we close, any questions? No questions? Thanks so much for joining us this morning, and we look forward to seeing you next week, if not sooner.